Okay, recording this video after close of trade, Thursday 14th of October 2010. And I just did this all without the sound, so I'm going to have to record it all again, but I'll hopefully get through this quickly. First of all, interesting day today, 1.9 million contracts traded. We kind of closed where we opened pretty much. This is very kind of similar to a long-legged doji pattern where we kind of had this spike down and the close is close to the open. Normally it's interpreted as a reversal signal, kind of continuation of the uptrend type here. Personally, I'm not so sure about that. I'm kind of seeing weakness in charts, but let me just show you what I'm seeing. 30-year bond contract. This was interesting. We continued to kind of sell off on this market here. You can see yesterday we had exhaustion selling on the downside, professional activity right down at the bottoms, and we kind of rallied from there, this professional blue bar, up into exhaustion buying at this point. And so, you know, that's profit taking on this rise, but it's also kind of getting ready to get short again. We couldn't break through this cyclical support level that's turned into resistance, so now we're kind of continuing on the downtrend, and this is kind of, you know, the climax of this type of move where we had all these exhaustion buying and flush signals where we found it really difficult to get back up to 135. Professional blue bars right at the close here, and this is this Wednesday-Thursday pattern that I was talking about where I was starting to see weakness, and that has kind of developed into a downtrend at this point. Euro chart, you know, sometimes I talk some absolute rubbish when I'm talking about my charts. You know, I was saying 140 is significant resistance point and so on, and today we cracked on up to 141. The thing that I missed in this whole interpretation is there's no blue professional up bars signaling the professionals are kind of taking profits and getting short. Yes, we got weakness in terms of we've had our exhaustion buying and a flush signal and bearish divergence and so on, but you know, I really need to be seeing professional blue bars to be able to start to be you know, sticking my neck out and saying there's a change in trend. Crude oil again, kind of weak buying, can't get up through 84. We've broken into our uptrend, had our exhaustion buying, had our divergence patterns and so on. Profit taking, yes, by the professionals up here at 84, but you know, on these kind of up bars coming into testing 84 again, not a lot of professional activity at the highs, so jury's out for me on crude at the moment. And in terms of the long-term chart here, the 40,500 tip bar chart, yesterday I saw this weakness with all these volume distribution type patterns, bearish divergence, cyclical turning point of professionals active at the high, and we did sell off today. Now we've come into this cyclical support level on this 40,500 tip bar chart, and look at these last kind of couple of bars were professional blue up bars. You know, it's more difficult to interpret professional blue bars at the end of the day because there's a lot of professional activity kind of closing out positions. Similarly at the beginning, at the end of the day, that's a little bit more difficult. But you know, just remember this pattern from the 30-year bond contract at the end of yesterday, where you know, yes, professionals were kind of taking profits here, but coming into that rise, they were also getting short again. So you know, I'm going to be watching that very carefully to see if that was an opportunity or that is developing into an opportunity for the professionals to kind of get short again. My trading today, pretty happy after a pretty you know, ordinary day yesterday where I wasn't happy with my trading. Managed to make 7.5 points, which was quite nice. We had before the open, an hour before the open, we had jobless claims, PPI and trade numbers kind of come out, and that kind of caused this spike in the market, and we'd had exhaustion buying, and then we started to roll over and had this flush signal, and when we broke below this cyclical support level, that was into a downtrend here. Now I wasn't confident to get on board this move early, so but as it developed, you know, I was kind of afraid that when the open started we were just going to continue selling down. So before the open I went short on a pullback and a downtrend signal on the 500 tip bar chart. Wasn't a particularly good entry, but at least I was ready for when this move kind of continued after the open. The better entry would have been here with this professional pullback in a downtrend with all these kind of bearish divergence signals on the 1500 tip bar chart. But never mind, I still kind of got out there, made a 1.5 points on this move here. And when we had professionals kind of coming back into a cyclical turning point, that was the signal to get out. Now, it was very untidy for me to get out at that point, and I missed this trade, which I'm quite liking at the moment, which is the first professional bar of the day, and had a suggestion from Byron that I call this the icebreaker, and I actually quite like that. So let's see if that sticks. So again, this is looking at the first professional blue bar of the day and taking a signal based on what that tells you to do. And you can see coming into this cyclical turning point, those are those professional blue bars active down at the bottom. As soon as the high is taken up, that's a really nice trade. Now I was able to get out of my short trade, but I didn't have my wits about me enough to get into a long trade here, which would have been very nice. But as soon as we come into another cyclical support, professionals kind of active at the highs here, I got short again and took this trade for a nice 4 points down on the downside, and just got out at my profit target here, which happened to be within a quarter point of the low here, so I was damn lucky to be out at that point. And then when we came back into this test of these lows, there was quite a lot of amateur activity, kind of amateur down bars, particularly on the well, it ended up being amateur down bar on the 4500 tip bar chart, not on the 500 tip bar chart. So I went long at this point. I was just looking for another 2 points, and then just got taken out here for 2 points, which was nice. That was me. I was done for the day. I don't know, it took me about an hour or so to get out of all of those trades. And then the market then came into, on the lower time frames of the 4500 tip bar chart, was the Rambo pattern right up here. Amateur activity up these turning point, bearish divergence, and then the market just takes off to the downside. And we kind of didn't stop until we saw kind of professionals coming back in. We'd had our end of trend, kept on testing, and then we needed this kind of exhaustion move down here. Then from there we've rallied right back up to 75. So let's see what happens overnight. But again, just I'm being quite wary about what's going on, and just seeing if we've got some kind of change developing. Hope your trade went well today. Okay, we just got short 1172.75. Just checking stops and targets. This is about 10 minutes before the open. We had at 7:30 Chicago time jobless claims numbers, PPI and trade numbers kind of come out. Initially we kind of spiked up to 79 and then kind of sold off pretty hard. And I was kind of really should have been getting into this trade when I saw this exhaustion selling, and then exhaustion buying at this point, and then a flush signal after that. And as soon as we started breaking through these kind of support levels here on the 1500 and 500 tip bar chart, that was the signal to kind of get short. We've just formed a pullback and a downtrend signal on the 500 tip bar chart, and that's what I'm playing off at the moment. Yes, we've got these kind of professional bars kind of coming in at 72, exhaustion, selling, and so on. But what I'm hoping for is that this is really a downtrend, and that we're kind of going to have a fairly violent down day to day. That's what I'd love. So anyway, short 72, 75. Let's see how it plays. Okay, this is about 5 minutes after the open, and now the market's kind of starting to really move in our favour. Kind of got short before the open on this pullback level here at 72.75, and kind of went initially against me, but we were just moving up into this pullback and a downtrend type signal. Sorry, I'm just checking my stops and targets. So it's kind of happy to sit through that, also having all these bearish divergence signals here. So started to continuation of this downtrend, and I realized I was late into this downtrend, having had kind of flush signals on the 1500 tip bar chart. So I wanted to get in. My worry was that we were, from the very start of the day, we would just kind of continue going down, and I'd rather be kind of in a little bit early. So that's kind of worked out so far, but not my kind of classic entry. But anyway, so we're down at just about to hit 1170. So I've got my 4 point now. We've just had an end of trend here and a professional bar kind of come in. So I'm going to look at this, see if it's worth getting out a fraction early. Okay, we're just short again at 73.75, and I missed this last little trade as a reversal here. I just got out at 71.25 for a small gain of 150 on the first one, but we've come back up to this cyclical support level, which could become resistance, and we've overshot our cyclical resistance level on the 500 tip bar chart, and we've just formed a cyclical turning point on the 1500 tip bar chart. Professional bars coming back here, Rambo patterns, exhaustion buying, so 73.75 we're short, so let's see if we go back down to test the kind of lows.